You're tuned to Warsaw. Hello and welcome to Focus, our cultural magazine. I'm Ada Janiszewska, your today's host. In this edition, we will take a look at New York Times Square, where Polish female artists are spotlighted by a major music streaming platform. Spotify's Equal program promotes female artists worldwide, addressing the ongoing issue that women remain less popular and underrepresented compared to men in the music industry. The initiative highlights talented female musicians, including Polish stars like Monika Brodka and Daria Zawiałow. Recently, Polish music legend Maryla Rodowicz has also become an ambassador for Equal, with her image proudly displayed on a Times Square billboard in New York, celebrating her influence and highlighting women's voices in music. I spoke to Ada Janiszewska from Spotify Poland regarding this initiative, as well as with Maryla Rodowicz, who expressed her perspective on the current Polish music industry. This huge, giant platform wants to also promote Polish artists to a wider audience. And I want to talk about the Equal initiative. How did this program come to life and what inspired Spotify in your department to focus specifically on women in the music industry?
Equal program is a very important program for Spotify, for all of us, and for the listeners, especially for women artists. So what is this actually? This is our Spotify's global always on program dedicated to achieving equity for women in the music by amplifying the voices across the world. And we started this program over 4 years ago in 2021. And since then, we try to highlight and uplift women artists, but also songwriters and producers globally. But also we are trying to work as much as possible locally through local sister programs in over 40 markets, including Poland. So one of the sister programs is Equal Polska. You were mentioning about the need, why we decided to start with this program. We must acknowledge that Spotify is only one part of the industry, but we definitely recognize that there is the need. The need is to amplify women's voices, not only globally, but also locally. And as I said, the need is real, particularly for Poland, as we are talking about the Polish music industry. So only in 2021, only 1 in 5 artists on charts was a woman. And as you can see, is a big gap. But we are seeing that the situation of the women artists in Poland can be changed. Also, we are seeing that annual number of streams on the platform is changing to benefit women. And we do believe that the listeners of the music will also discover more women artists. We have the real numbers to prove that. The annual number of streams by women artists in Poland has increased by 600% just between 2019 and 2024. So during this 5 years, we see extreme increase that also inspire us to continue our efforts.
When we talk about women in the music industry, I would say that it's assumed that they are now currently dominating the industry as a whole. When we think about artists, megastars like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Sabrina Carpenter, like taking the music industry by storm. And so why is gender equality in the music industry still a topic that requires active support and visibility today, having all those names?
Well, definitely we have great role models in the music industry, as mentioned, artists. But when we talk about the music industry as a whole, the numbers show something different. I can refer also to the global report, where less than 25% of all artists are women. Only 13% are songwriters, and just about 3% of all the producers are women. So as you can see, statistics shows there is still a big gap even though we have such an amazing artists, top tier artists, a great, successful, also in a local market in Poland. But definitely there is a lot to do. And we try to support also with this program, also emerging ones. We, on a monthly basis, every month, our music team is selecting one artist to give her the spotlight. She is becoming our ambassador. And since 2021, we supported over 50 artists, Polish women artists. Among them, obviously, iconic artists, well-established artists like Margaret, Daria Zawiałow, Nosowska, but also the one on a completely different stage of their career, emerging ones, still building their career and audience, like Zalia, Katia, Kitty, and many, many others. It's hard to mention all of them. But also, we have this opportunity through the program to present the icon, the legacy artist like Anna Jantar, for example. We decided to feature her, obviously working together with her family and the rights holders. And she was featured as an ambassador in March on our Equal Polska playlist to celebrate her music, her legacy during the Women's Month. It was very, very important also for us to highlight her story and her legacy, her great and inspiring music.
And now you've chosen another icon from the Polish scene, but before we got into that topic, I want to ask, how does Spotify select the artists featured in this initiative? Are there specific criteria? What does it look like?
Definitely when we look into artists, we as a music team, we made this decision trying to pick the artist that is really living the values of the program, the real role model that can spread inspiring message to other women artists in the music industry. Also, the artist that is really inspiring through her music, through the message in the music, the artist that can empower other artists to continue with the creativity, be inspired by this, and also be empowered to collaborate maybe with other artists. So obviously there is no one size fits all, but we definitely look into the moment of the career of the artist. If the artist is having this inspiration, the empowering message to other artists to walk and to follow this career, the music career. But I also wanted to address that the fans, the listeners are important. So whenever the ambassador is invited, we also collaborate with the artist to spread the message to the fans to bring the awareness.
You've already mentioned that the Equal Initiative has featured so many different Polish female artists so far. And have you maybe, I don't know, noted, recorded received some kind of feedback, whether this opportunity has meant something for their careers and maybe even impacted their career in some shape or form?
Let me start with some numbers to give you a context. So in 2023, in Poland, there was only one woman artist in the top 10 when we summarized the annual results of all artists on the platform. There was only one. And what's even worse, in 2019, there was only one Polish women artist in all of the top 100. It was Daria Zawiałow. And in 2024, few years later, that number increased to 3 women artists, naming Sanach, Bambi, Young Leosha. They were in top 10. So these are real stories. And also that can be referred to situations like, for example, these artists collaborate with each other. We inspired them to work together. And one of the initiatives that we brought to Poland was Equal Day. It was an event, the full day gathering women artists in Poland, the performing artists, the songwriters, producers, but also industry figures from labels and distributions and also publishing. They met together to network, to discuss, to inspire each other, maybe start to collaborate. And I received personally many positive feedbacks, but because they told me, there are not many occasions to actually meet together to discuss these challenges that we face every day in the music industry and maybe maybe find a way how we can work together, collaborate to make a difference in the future.
I really love this girl power kind of approach to the whole topic of music, just like in general, and also choosing those very cool and iconic ambassadors. So now I want to talk about the latest ambassador, and that is, of course, the legendary Maryla Rodowicz. And how did you manage to bring her on the board and invite her to be the face of this very inspiring initiative?
I do believe that the message behind the program is so important for all of the women artists, and not only women artists, but for the music industry and for the listeners. And as the name of the program is, Equal, we invite all of the artists, the emerging ones, the well-established with a long career, maybe just starting, not being super confident yet. So the space is for everyone, for each artist. And Maryla, as you already acknowledged, she's an icon. She's the artist with a great music, with a great catalog of music, with a legacy. And she can be really inspiring for many, many other artists. And she's also that kind of an artist, still active. When you look at her career, she never stopped. She was always trying to find new ways of also collaborating with other artists. And she just recently released her hit song, Małgorzka, in completely new version, collaborating with another artist, Lanbery. As a side note, Lanbery, she was also our Equal ambassador in 2024. So it's amazing to see how women artists are working together. And on that occasion, we thought there is a perfect moment to feature her, showing how she's still finding a way to reach to the audience, to a younger generation of the audience, working with other female artists, reworking her hit song, and spreading a positive message to the music industry, to her fans, and reaching also a new audience.
And speaking of Maryla Rodowicz, an icon, music legend, and simply queen of the Polish stage, I had the immense pleasure of asking her about becoming an ambassador for this global project, as well as her thoughts on the current state of the music industry in Poland. She shared valuable insights from her nearly 60-year-long career.
This
is a huge honor for me. I absolutely did not expect it. I was in Times Square last year in September taking pictures, and it never occurred to me that I'd be on those billboards. I was even considering going to New York and capture it somehow. When it comes to my career and being a woman in the industry, I was lucky because men supported me. Maybe because they liked me, found me attractive. I believe beauty matters. I see that these attractive young girls simply do better. But I love these young female rappers who are so brazen in a positive way. They do not care about appearances. They are pushing themselves in the industry, and this is inspiring. They are so confident. I admire them. I've had a long career because I've been singing for almost 60 years. My advice to all artists is not to give up and do not be discouraged by failures. They are part of this industry.
Żeby robiły swoje, żeby w taką karierę są wliczone porażki. I porażki mogą się wydarzyć na każdym etapie.
Maryla also shared some details about her upcoming MTV Unplugged concert scheduled for September. The event is being prepared in collaboration with Bartek Królik, a Polish musician known for his work with bands like the Funky Wonky One and the R&B sensation Sisters, as well as projects like Męskie Granie Orchestra, a famous traveling music festival in Poland.
Oh yes, right now I am repeating the lyrics to the songs and practicing them on the guitar. I'll be singing songs I do not usually play at concerts, but which are close to my heart. However, I didn't choose the MTV Unplugged concert. MTV chose me. I received the offer this spring and felt very privileged because I know what these concerts are like. I often watch them on YouTube. My musical director and producer will be Bartek Królik, an outstanding musician. He said he was very busy and I was keen to work with him, so we finally set the concert date for September. Fortunately, MTV agreed. What's our work like? I went to Bartek's studio and spent hours working on songs together. I really like his approach to music. As for the concerts, I'll be performing a few songs on the guitar, not all of them, because there are some I've never played on it and probably wouldn't dare. There will be one cover though. I do not sing covers, but this is the only one I recorded for my album in 1991.
Ten utwór nagrałam właśnie w 91 roku na swoją płytę.
I was talking to Maryla Rodowicz. And that brought us to the end of this edition of our cultural magazine, Focus. I'm Ada Janiszewska. Thanks for tuning in.